So we went live for the first time yesterday at 1 a.m. Eastern. We're planning on doing another live stream today somewhere in the afternoon, probably a short one, 1 to 2 hours, and then doing another late night stream. So if you want to basically be informed whenever I do go live, make sure you're following me on all my socials because I alert you all there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the channel notifications, and also hit that like button on this video if you do end up enjoying today's content. Last but not least, if you would like to, it's not mandatory to support me in any extra way you can become a member of the channel. It's a monthly subscription just like a Twitch sub. Now let's get into my top 5 catchers, and yes, we're gonna have honorable mentions. We're gonna go to filters, and then we're gonna put catchers, and then we're gonna go to Mike, because Mike to me is the #1 catcher in the game. Now let's talk about defense for catchers before we even talk about hitting. Defense, the only thing that truly matters is a catcher's arm strength and then their reaction. Arm strength because that dictates how hard he can throw to second base, which will allow you to get more runners out, and then reaction because that dictates his pop time when it comes to throwing runners out, and that will also allow you to get more runners out. When it comes to arm accuracy, if you're using button accuracy, it's not really that important because you just have to time the window correctly to get into the green. Arm accuracy makes a greater perfect throw to second base in terms of the little green arrow that you can time it into. But if you know how to time it, you're gonna be good regardless of how accurate the catcher's arm is. Now blocking, it's an empty attribute in my opinion, because you can have a catcher with 99 blocking and you can throw a curveball in the dirt and they're still not going to block it as effectively as they possibly can. So blocking doesn't really matter. So when we judge him in terms of defense, we're looking primarily at his arm strength and reaction. The reaction is not great, the arm strength is decent to say the least. But when you look at his hitting, he is the best pure hitting catcher in the game. Now the only downside to him is one, that he's a right-hander, but the real downside is his swing is gonna take practice to get used to, because it's a much slower swing than most players and it feels like you're swinging underwater. So if you're getting a fastball and you're sitting fastball, you would have to swing actually a little bit earlier with Mike Piazza to get that perfect swing timing, and if you're gonna be late on it, you're gonna be very late with Mike Piazza. So it's gonna take some time to get used to, but once you get used to it, I promise you, you're gonna be grateful that you got Mike, because he is the best pure hitting catcher in the game. He's like Yermin Mercedes, but the more expensive version of Yermin Mercedes, if I'm being honest with you all. So the next one, we're gonna go to Live Series Collections, and it's gonna be for the New York Yankees. It's gonna be Jorge Posada. Now Jorge Posada, best contact hitting catcher in the game. He has great contact numbers against both sides. Power numbers are not excellent, but they're good enough. As you parallel him, they're going to become even greater. The fact that he's a switch hitter is going to be a humongous plus, and the fact that Jorge Posada has always had a good swing in MLB The Show is also going to be a humongous plus. He has less arm strength than Mike, and then his reaction is 2 points higher than Mike's at a 65. So when we're talking about defense, Mike is still technically, in my opinion, a better defender because he has better arm strength, and then both of their reactions are in the bronze level, so there really isn't too much to differentiate there. But Mike, in my opinion, is the better player because he's a much better hitter, and then the defense is almost identical. Plus Jorge has 24 speed, and I'm pretty sure that Mike is a little bit quicker. So if Mike is a little bit quicker, you're gonna take the catcher that has a little bit more speed when it comes to that, as he has 37. After Jorge, we got probably one of the most expensive catchers, if not the most expensive catcher. Jorge would be the most expensive one because you need to complete an entire Yankees collection where Garrett Cole is over 100K. But if you're looking for the cheaper version of Jorge Posada, that would be Adley Rushman. Why? He's a switch hitter, just like Jorge Posada. He doesn't have the same contact numbers, but in terms of power numbers, he is really close to Jorge Posada. So Jorge beats him in terms of contact. They're equal in my opinion in terms of power, and then Adley really comes in and just whoops his butt when we're talking about arm strength. He even whoops Mike's butt in terms of arm strength. 85 arm strength and then 75 reaction. That's gonna help you out a ton when it comes to just throwing runners out in general, because both of them are so high. One of them is in the gold tier and then the other one is in the silver tier. So Adley Rushman, at the end of the day, I would, honestly speaking, even put him at 2 sometimes. It just depends which swing you like more. A lot of people have told me Adley Rutschman's swing is a cheat code swing, and he's a lot easier to easier to get, I can't even speak right now, than Jorge Posada. So it's up to you, but they could battle. You can interchange them between 2 and 3, but to me, Mike is going to be number 1, and then between Jorge and Adley, depending which one you like, that's going to be 2 and 3. When we're talking about number 4, we're going to go to Yermin Mercedes, and I've told everyone, if you're looking for a catcher to use, you're no money spent, get Yermin Mercedes. And this is why I say that fielding does not matter for a catcher. He only has 54 fielding, but how many drop balls does he allow in MLB The Show? Literally none. I've been playing with Yermin Mercedes this entire time, and I can't remember a time that he dropped the ball. Now his blocking is an 80, so as I said, empty attribute. His arm strength being a 65, and then his reaction being a 57. Those are the 2 attributes that really hurt him and really just drop him in terms of the tier list. But if he had good arm strength and good reaction, you best believe that he'd be up there with Mike Piazza. Like I said, this is a poor man's Mike Piazza, but the better thing about Yermin Mercedes is that he has a cheat code swing as opposed to Mike Piazza. Like, you don't even need to take practice. As soon as you bring in Yermin Mercedes, you will be able to rip with him. That's why he comes in at number 4. And then number 5 is going to be Will Smith. I know that might be surprising a lot of people. A lot of people might be saying, no Salvador Perez, no JT Realmuto. Wait. We got honorable mentions, and both of them are there. Now, we don't have Pudge in any honorable mentions, but we do have those 2 guys. Why is Will Smith coming in at number 5? Have you used Will Smith? Trust me. Will Smith, when I say that man's swing inside the game is probably the most broken swing I've seen in the entire game, the dude literally will hit any pitch out no matter where you throw it. Like, it's one of the quickest swings in the game, and even on an outside pitch, it like slows down automatically and just drives it out regardless of what you do. To me, this card is one of the best cards. I'm currently hitting 469 with him in 81 at-bats, and in those 81 at-bats, I have 20 home runs. So that should just show you how good this card is in general. Plus, he's always playing up against right-handers. Whenever he plays up, that power versus right goes over 100. If he's playing up against lefties, his power is going to be above 80. So if you just run into the ball, that's going to be a home run. Arm strength at a 79 is much better than Mike's, so that's going to help you out a ton. And then reaction at a 65 is the same as Jorge Posada. Clearly, the best defender is going to be Adley Rushman. That's why I have him at number 2, 3, and that's why I can interchange him between Jorge and Adley. Now, honorable mentions. First off, we're going to start with JT. JT is an honorable mention because he's a great contact hitting catcher, but besides contact, that's all he's really going to provide in terms of the hitting side. When it comes to the fielding side though, that's where we really like him. He has the great arm strength, and he also has the great reaction, so he's going to have good pop time, and he's also going to be throwing runners out no problem because the arm strength that he has, it's diamond level arm strength. Now, the reason he doesn't make the top 5 is because JT just doesn't have the swing that Will Smith has. He doesn't have the swing that Yermin Mercedes has. And he's also a lot more expensive than those guys and is going to give you similar value to those guys. And catchers, to be honest with you all, you don't even really look at them for the defensive side of things. You mainly look at them for the offensive production. And if anyone tries to be smart and steal a base on you, generally, depending on who you have pitching, it doesn't really matter whether or not you have a good catcher in terms of arm strength or reaction. It can help, but if the person stealing the bag is a good base runner, then most of the times it really isn't going to matter. So that's why I don't even pay too much attention to defensive attributes when it comes to catcher. But like I said, in terms of hitting, what he's really going to provide is contact. Doesn't really provide too much power at the end of the day, and you want catchers that can go up there and just drive one in. So he's not number 6. I would have him just tied with Salvador Perez in terms of honorable mention. And the Salvador Perez that I'm talking about is not his Team Affinity card, which might be a shocker to you all, but I'm actually talking about his Live Series Salvador Perez Gold card. And the reasoning behind it is we're actually going to go into the inventory to show you all that the Gold Live Series card of Salvador Perez is just as good, if not better, than that Diamond card of his. So look at this. This has a +1 to his attributes, but he has 85 power and then 90 power versus left without the parallel 1, and then his contact is 71, 67. If you go to his Live Series card, the power numbers are almost identical. He even has more contact, I believe, versus right-handers than his Diamond version card, and he's playing down today. But if he was playing up, I promise you, he would have better numbers in terms of right-handers than his live series, or not live series, team affinity card. And then if he was playing up against left-handers, he would definitely have more power than his diamond card. So if you have Salvador Perez and you have the team affinity version, whenever the gold version is playing up, I would take a strong look at the gold version. I would even compare the two. We could even do that right now, actually, to be honest with you all. We can go to the home screen, right? I have Mike right now, but I'll put Salvador Perez to be the catcher, and then to replace him, I'll put the gold version of his. Now you see how all those attributes are basically on the plus side. Yes, defensively, the diamond version is a lot better, but as I said, we don't really care too much about the defensive side of things, and it doesn't take into account inside edge. I want you guys to keep that in mind as well. So as soon as he's playing up against right-handers, those pluses that you see on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side, they will switch over to the right-hand side. In general, in terms of grinding team affinities, if you want a similar catcher to that diamond version, you can just get the gold version and call it a day. If not, you can get Will Smith and call it a day as well, in my personal opinion. But those are the catcher tier positions. If you get the diamond version of Salvador Perez, don't feel bad, because that player will never change in terms of inside edge, so he will always be good. But all I'm saying is that the Gold Live Series player has a chance of being even better depending on how inside edge is to him. But if you did end up enjoying today's content, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials at Bhlademyst. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.